The first half of the year 2025 in Kenya. Ay, 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 ay. The first half of the year in the country called Kenya, especially politically, but also socially, stuff that affects all of us. Ay, 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 ay. Now, I'm not giving you this information to scare anybody. No. I'm not giving this information for anybody to panic. No. I am passing on this information, which I am very, very sure about, so that we are all prepared. As I've said many times on this channel, there is a very huge difference between somebody who is prepared and somebody who is taken by surprise. For instance, if somebody is about to punch you, there is a huge difference between the person who receives that punch when they're prepared and the person who receives that punch when they were not expecting it. There is such a huge difference that there could be a difference between life and death. Without exaggerating. That is the truth. Now, all of us remember that I've been talking about a bridge. I started talking about this bridge before the 2022 general elections. Now, the part of the bridge where we have reached now, if you can imagine a very shaky bridge, the part of the bridge where we have reached now has many holes, many broken planks, many rotten planks. It is going to be very hazardous. But cross we must. And therefore, preparation is important. Now, I know many of you may be wondering, what's wrong with Chris? Ameanza hii show yake leo aje? He's supposed to give us hot politics. What is going on behind the scenes? Actually, there are more than enough signs behind the scenes politically to tell anybody very clearly ni kubaya, and that we should brace ourselves for a major shaking in the country called Kenya, especially as the government continues to score own goals and continues to inflict wounds on itself. Yani, the opponents of this government are not doing very much. Actually, they're doing very little. Most of the damage is being done self-inflicted. That should be obvious. For example, did you know that abductions are still going on? Even after the hue and cry, even after the pressure from the people, abductions, my friend, are still going on. Now in front of your screens right now you can see a photograph actually taken a few hours ago at Ongata Rongai on this 10th day of the month of January 2025. This happened today. Okay? So abductions are still going on. Now, it is super fascinating. Those of us who are lucky enough to take in my very latest special report, it is super fascinating that there's something which happened in Kenya on 19th April 2021, which I covered extensively. 4 young men disappeared in Kitengela, Kajiado County. And I covered that story in great detail. I even did a special weekly intelligence briefing on that particular story. And the revelations at the time were so crazy that maybe some of us would be forgiven for dismissing Kumekucha Chris. However, as it turns out, this is a vital clue to prove something about these abduction gangs that you will not believe. It is so horrible. It is such a nightmare story. By the way, I believe I still have a few remaining slots. I had a target, a very low one, for very few people to get this information. Because this information is moto kuliko pasi 100 ya makaa. And I'm not kidding. Okay? But more on that later. So abductions are still ongoing. Even after everything. There is something about this UDA government that is, I don't know what to say. There seems to be some vengefulness. Humble is not the word you can put anywhere near this government. And it seems, even when publicly, UDA top politicians are talking nicely, behind the scenes, what is going on? Hey, maybe I should give you a quick illustration. I'm sure many of us, or at least some of us, had mothers, or have mothers, who when they're visitors and you do something wrong, they just smile. No, just leave him. Yeah, it's okay, there's no problem. And they're smiling. There's no problem. But then when the visitors leave, all exits are carefully locked. All windows where you can escape are carefully locked. And then unanyoroshwa. Ile kunyoroshwa ya mwaka. You remember after the Gen Z protests, which climaxed in June 2024 last year, you remember after that, Ruto dismissed the entire cabinet. And he was talking nicely. He even appeared on a few forums, with the Gen Zs. He was talking nicely. He was being diplomatic. But meanwhile, what was happening behind the scenes? Do you remember? What was happening behind the scenes? Gen Zs walikuwa nanyoroshwa ile kunyoroshwa. You will of course remember, at least a few of us will remember, that it was at around this time that the Kware Manenos came up, where so many youngsters, at least what had remained of them, were found at Kware in Nairobi, after they had gone missing. And so coming back to what I was saying, there is a lot happening behind the scenes that is a build-up to what is going to explode in the nation called Kenya, which I'm afraid is not going to be good, which I'm afraid we have to brace ourselves for. The first half of the year 2025. Now, before I reveal to you something else very shocking about this first half of 2025 that we should all start preparing ourselves for and bracing ourselves for, allow me to introduce you to our sponsors today, which is a very beautiful 4-bedroomed mansion in an oasis of serenity somewhere along Kiambu Road. Okay? A few lucky Kenyans have just returned from their holidays, and many of them went up country. And some of these Kenyans have an up country that is full of nature, very beautiful, fresh air, far away from the noise. And many times you'd wish, including people like me, that it would be possible to transfer the serenity of your rural home to somewhere close to Nairobi, where you can live, and then 5 minutes later, pop, you're in the CBD Nairobi. Well, this 4-bedroom oasis is just it, and is available for rent. It has a very spacious open-plan kitchen, as I'm sure you have seen from some of the photographs flashing on your screens right now. And it even has a ground floor guest room, which is en suite. Very beautiful. Not to mention the master bedroom en suite, which even has a spa-like bathtub and even a private balcony, where you can communicate with nature. It has a beautiful view. Yani, from all the noise and madness of Nairobi CBD, of hustling in Nairobi, with all that pressure, and then pop, when you reach home, you're in another world. If this is what you're looking for, or if you know somebody who's looking for this, please use that telephone number you see on your screens right now. Quickly, before it goes. Right, let's talk about the first half of 2025. By the way, we still have slots for anybody who's interested in sponsoring a video on this channel. You'll be able to reach a very unique audience. And those who have done it in the past, a vast majority of them are very happy with the results. You can see the details on your screens right now on what to do in case you're interested in reaching a very woke, unique audience. Now, one of the things we should expect to happen early in the year 2025 is a change of guard. Oh yes, you had me right. There are so many predictions all over the place that the Ruto presidency will not last this year. And most of those predictions say he will not finish the month of April. That remains to be seen. But what we are talking about in this video is the first half of the year 2025, the first 6 months. And you can already see how the year has started. There is so much happening. And even if you step back into the politics, you can see the way things are going in the country. Something has to give, and something has to give very soon. It is so clear. It's as clear as daylight. And in case you don't believe all that, you just need to observe carefully the way politicians are behaving. By the way, we have had yet another case of somebody rejecting, saying no thank you to a Ruto appointment. A former CS has said, no, I will not be able to take this appointment. Respectfully, nisamee tafadhali, hii kazi sitaki. Okay? We've had yet another case. And you know, Kenyans are forgetting, this has never happened before in our history. These cases where people are given a lucrative appointment by the state and they turn it down. Since 1963, it has never happened in our history. We saw it start to happen in our country in the year 2024. For the very first time. And in the past, we have had many cases where people would have refused appointments very comfortably. Joseph Nkaiseri of ODM was appointed by the Jubilee president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, to be CS Interior. He took the appointment. And this was long before the handshake. But now, we are having too many people saying no. Okay? Many politicians are very quiet. Wamenyamaza kama mtungi ya maji. Have you ever asked yourself why? Why are they behaving like this? And they've been talking. Suddenly, wamenyamaza kama mtungi ya maji. Ask yourself why. And even the people deep in government are eating corruption, extreme. They're eating like there's no tomorrow. It's as if they know that their time is short. And therefore they have to maximize how much money they rake in from public coffers. Leaving Kenyans suffering. Leaving Kenyans kwa mataa. Not knowing what to do next. And meanwhile, ordinary Kenyans are getting more and more desperate by the day. Not to mention the fact that we have seen many about turns. Politicians who are very close to this regime, suddenly they come out and start singing a different tune, contrary to the UDA government. How is this man Boni Halwale, the bullfighter from Ikolomani, now Senator of Kakamega, how is the man talking these days? Folks, the signs are there. Because usually politicians know much more than we ordinary Kenyans would ever know. Usually, they can see what is coming long before the rest of us can see it. And therefore, my dear friends, please brace yourselves. Please prepare for this first half of the year 2025. In my opinion, it can best be described as a major shaking. The country is being shaken, and it is being shaken so vigorously that anything which is not anchored in truth and justice will not survive. And if you want the bigger picture, for those of us who are spiritual, the nation called Kenya is being prepared. And what is happening here is a quick work. The swamp is being drained. The nation called Kenya is being prepared for her appointment with destiny. Okay? Kenya is supposed to be a very important nation for something called the last great major revival. Kwa hivyo tafadhali tukae chonjo. Now very quickly before I go, we have a few slots remaining for my very latest sizzling special report, which goes very deep, deeper than anybody has ever gone, to give you information about these abduction chaps that you will not believe. I kid you not. The information is accurate. The information is verified. It has taken me quite some time to put it together. It has taken some serious research. But still, most of us will not believe. You will not believe. Now you can see details on your screens right now. For only Kenya shillings 3,999, you can have this special report pop in your inbox. Please move quickly if you're interested to avoid disappointment. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.